all present here. On behalf of Dr. G.R.D. Memorial Library and PSG College of Technology, I welcome you all for the Day 2 of ATEL Faculty Development Program on Re-Engineering of Library Landscape, Adopting Industry 5.0 for 21st Century. With no delay, we shall straightaway go to the session 3, which is to be handled by Dr. R. Sevukan, Professor, Central University of Pondicherry. He is a professor in the Department of Library and Information Science at Pondicherry University. He previously served as a lecturer at Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNOU, New Delhi, where he contributed to curriculum development for LIS programs. Dr. Sevahan has delivered lectures in EduStat and was a member of the National Experts Committee for designing curriculum for LIS courses in CBSE schools. He has published numerous articles in peer-reviewed journals and has reviewed research articles for various journals, namely Annals of Library and Information Studies, International Journal of Library and Information Science, and Library Progress, and adjudicated about 50 PhD theses of various universities across the country. It's my privilege to welcome you, sir. Welcome, sir. We are honored to have Dr. R. Sevakan as the distinguished resource person for this session entitled Benchmarking of Research Publications, Citations, and Institution Ranking. He will guide us through the complexity of evaluating scholarly impact. Now I invite Dr. R. Sevakan to take over. Please, sir, the floor is all yours.
Yeah. Now, we have to know a little bit about our research scenario in the country. Okay. So, looking at this number of academic institutions, we have to feel very proud that we are at number 1 in the whole world. Okay, having more than 5,000 number of academic institutions which have got place in the statista.com. Academic institutions here refer to the institutions which are performing better in terms of research productivity. Okay. So, in that case we have to feel very proud that we have about more than 5,000 institutions, academic institutions which are doing reasonably good research. Okay. So, when it is compared with the other leading countries like USA, ours is almost double in terms of having number of institutions, right. So, it is quite interesting, and it is not only that we have good number of institutions, we have to spend also money on R&D activities to enhance research productivity. Okay, in that almost not almost exactly 0.7% of the total GDP is spent on R&D activities in the whole country. So 0.7% is not a small amount, lakhs of crores are spent on R&D activities when it comes to the academic institutions, particularly universities. Look at this one, almost close to $3,000 million are spent on research and developmental activities. So, this here also we have to feel proud that we have good number of institutions, also money is spent reasonably, considerable amount of budget is allocated, and based on these two parameters we have to compare with the research productivity, how much we have prospered. Okay. So, here according to NSF, National Science Foundation, we are at the 3rd position in terms of number of publications and PhDs awarded in science and engineering alone, not other subjects. Science and engineering alone we have got good number of PhDs awarded, by which we have got the 3rd position in the world, okay, according to NSF. So, this is also, this sounds really good, okay, really good that we have good number of institutions, we spend a lot of money for research and developmental activities, and also based on those two parameters we are able to produce good number of publications, and also we are able to award good number of PhDs in science and engineering alone. So, this is on the one hand. Okay. So, as a teacher of library science and also representing the librarians who are all here, we have to critically analyze to what extent we have grown, right. So, when you critically analyze the yardstick which is considered to be important yardsticks for ranking of institutions, one is impact factor for the journals, okay, other one is H index for the scientist or the institutions or a country. Okay. So, here we take country as a whole, where we are as far as the research is concerned, research publications, because here my contention is that I am just comparing the research productivity what the country has made so far with the impact. As I said at the beginning also, any research that is done, you may say that I have 100 papers to my credit. 100 papers are mine, but thought contents are not for me. That we have to understand. It is for the target community to influence them in the form of impact. So, in that way, to what extent we have influenced the society here, just look at the data of Scopus. We are at the 7th place having indexed more than 21 lakhs of articles in Scopus. So, this also sounds very interesting and it is not that easy to get these many articles indexed for a country. Okay. So, we are at the 7th place. But our analysis, what it says, number is okay, more than 21 lakhs. When it comes to H index, it is only 691 according to our assessment, being the librarians and library science professionals. It is quite low for a country, quite low. I say it is quite low, not only lip service, just you can just check, India is at the 7th place. Look at the data of Netherlands. Netherlands was nowhere in the picture of academic institutions, number of institutions in the ranking, okay, nowhere in the picture. But look at their publications, it is only 11 lakhs of articles, it is almost half of India's articles. But when it comes to the H index, it is almost double, half of the publications with a double H index. So, who is doing better research? Netherlands, not India. Okay? That is why as a library science professionals, we are also responsible for bridging the resources with the stakeholders in a reasonable way to increase the productivity, not only increase the productivity, to also create impact on the people through our research. But here till now we are not able, this is a major reason for not having proper ranking in the world agencies. So, that is what. So, here it is crystal clear that we have done good amount of research, we have produced good amount of articles and PhDs awarded, but when it comes to the quality, we are far below because the evidence is low H index 691. And also look at this one, 30.38, that means average number of citations per document. Look at our average, 10.4, 3 times more. Okay. So, this is this is the best example of a research how it has to be carried out. But in our case, we are worried about only the numbers, as I said at the beginning also, only numbers but not the quality. Okay. So, this is why we are not able to get a proper place in terms of ranking. So, again when I critically analyzed for the reasons, what could be the possible reasons for having more number with low impact. Okay. So, I just came across an incident that this is another one, reputation score. Reputation score also is measured based on the research activities that are happening in an organization and the relative impact for the productivity that is made by an organization. This also not even except 2 institutions from entire Asia, no institution is there in the top 25. So, that is also another alarming situation or the message to all of us that what we do is not at the right spirit, that we have to understand. Then as a library science professional, I just analyzed what could be the possible reasons for low H index and low average impact value. So, in the world, in the first slide we are at number 1 in the world in terms of number of academic institutions. Here also we are at number 1 in terms of what? Contribution to predatory journals, fake journals. So, when you are contributing your journals to articles to predatory journals, that will nowhere figure, okay, that will never be considered for any assessment, okay, that is what. So, this is the major reason. Now, when you just compare the perception of the stakeholders, because I am from social sciences, most of the people from other domains like science, engineering, technology, they will always blame this poor impact, negative impact is only because of the social science people who have contributed to predatory journals. I 100% agree with you all, okay, because mostly it happens in social science, arts, humanities and social sciences. So because of that, so this is the result what we have got, okay. Number 1 in the whole world in contributing to predatory journals, and the contribution publishing predatory journals, we are at number 2 next to Nigeria. So we can feel little bit, relaxed. Number 2, okay, in publishing predatory journals. So next is, this is on the one hand, social science faculties or the researchers are responsible for having more number of publications through predatory publications and low impact, okay, that is one. Next one is, I just tried a lot to correlate all this. Retractions, 99.99% of the retractions happens in sciences, science, engineering and technology, okay. So on the one hand, you may say that social science scientists are responsible for inflating number of publications and poor impact. In this case also, just look at, we are at the 4th place. Retraction means what? Retraction means removing from the publication, published article, or authors will withdraw based on some context, not just like that, okay. The context is, as I said, that is why I consciously have been telling that I may have 100 papers. Once it is published, it is not mine. Thought content is for the target audience. Anybody in the world will have the right to claim that if there is any problem with the published articles, they will write to the editor right away, or they will write to the parent organization where you are working with, okay. So that is what happens. So once this is noticed, they will form a committee. The committee will investigate thoroughly. Once it is proved that this has been manipulated, it will happen, retractions will happen. So now we have to understand, forget about social science, mostly survey based research. But in case of science, engineering, technology, research happens in the laboratory with sophisticated setting. You will have equipment, expertise and also guides, mentors. With all those people, you will conduct research, okay. Experiment is done. So when the experiment is done, you will extract data from that. Data are analyzed further, you just get it reported based on your findings in any reputed journal, okay. So once it is found that it is retracted, the corresponding impact will also go down, okay. So why it happens? Because manipulations will take place either with the usage of equipment or device, apparatus or samples that you have used, because once you report that, it is open to the public. So the future researchers, when they take up for further study, so when they experiment in the laboratory, that results may mismatch with the results what you have reported in the paper with the exact practical results what they are getting from the laboratory. So once it is proved, then these retractions happening. This also, we are at the 4th place, reporting 7.5% of every 10,000 papers retracted. Now you can imagine. So we have good number of institutions, we spent lot of money, 0.7% of total GDP. So I am not only telling about the people who are working in the university, people who are working in the institution of national importance like DRDO, CSIR. So they are exclusively meant for conducting research. So there also it happens. That is why we are at the 4th place. So these two are the major causes for having more number of publications with low impact. So what we do, we are all responsible, because I say librarians are the people who have to connect, and since it is the people with the scientific publications, how it has to be written. So once it is published in unwanted journals, only number will go up, it can never be brought down. That's why we always say that we are living in the world of information overload. Information overload has to be controlled by the stakeholders, including teachers, researchers and also librarians. Librarians alone cannot control, because normally if you just look at the perception of the teachers, they will undermine the librarians. They don't know anything, they cannot do any service for us. It is not like that. So if you really respect the librarians, they will come out with the flying colors. They can do wonders, right? So what I am going to tell, because I am also from library science, but you may not have come across, our people will definitely give answers to all the things what I am going to explain here as factors. Okay. So now again simply criticizing is not the solution. Okay. So we have to identify the reasons why we are not able to flourish as far as the quality is concerned. Quality is concerned. So when I was checking, I found that because I am editor of a journal and also I am the reviewer board of many peer reviewed journals like Springer, Elsevier, Sage and all. And also I have adjudicated good number of theses across the country. And also I am in many national level committees as far as the scholarly communication is concerned to assess the quality. So based on my experience only I found many people have been telling that we have we do research, we have been doing research, we will continue to do research, but we are not able to get proper position in the ranking, world ranking. The reasons are these. Okay, you can just randomly check with concrete examples. I will show you. The first and foremost reason, these are I call it mechanics. Mechanics, if you just stick to these parameters, quality parameter will be automatically taken care of. You don't have to study ethics, you don't have to follow ethics, you have to follow only the checklist, what I am going to tell you here. Okay. So these 10 are the pertinent points because of which we are not able to flourish as far as the quality is concerned. Okay. The first and foremost is stage of paper writing, number one. Okay. So that leads mostly because of the research scholars are the guides who are guiding improperly, that leads to getting their manuscripts published in predatory journals, number one. Secondly, problem statement literature review. So when you just look at the articles published by the foreigners would be totally different as far as the structural components are concerned. But when we say that I have done literature review, but whether it has been done in a proper way or not. Okay, we are not doing properly the literature review, and also writing problem statement many people don't know. I have adjudicated more than 250 PhD theses, I will tell you, but out of that I could find the proper problem statement only in 10% of the thesis. Okay, 10%, but the remaining 90% has been awarded with wrong content, I would say consciously. Then content writing, content editing, there are good number of tools, online tools available, because we are confused with the structural components of journal article. If it is journal article, what should be the components? Conference paper, that edited volume, book chapter. So what should be the structural components? So there also we are confused, but there are good number of tools which can help us to have a ready-made template in which we can just feed the details. Okay, so that's what. Then content editing, as I said also in the beginning, we are living in the copy paste world. It's not like that. It's because we are overloaded with a lot of digital information. So we intend to reproduce. While reproducing, you may feel that we have to paraphrase it. While paraphrasing, there are chances for errors. So errors can also be eliminated using some tools like online content editing tools that are available for free. I will tell about that. It is only to enhance the quality of the content. Then improper citation and improper quotations. These two are the major issues, because you have very logically devised the topic. First publications, then citations, third one is ranking. Okay, ranking. So unless we follow all these, it is very difficult to get proper place in the global ranking. Then predatory journals and publishers, plagiarism check, fake impact factor and H index, low research impact and visibility. Any research that is done has to be made visible to the target audience for getting proper impact. So this is what we have to discuss for the whole presentation, and also I will tell you at the end, though I am not in favor of that AI tools, artificial intelligence tools for doing research, but I just have a brief mention about AI tools also at the end if time permits. Okay, but these are the important factors to be discussed. Okay, if you have any doubts, any clarification in between also, you can disturb. I have no problem. Yeah.
All the mechanics, mostly it's with respect to the authors.
Okay.
But I have seen some cases where a conference happens
Mm.
and they are sure that from conference we are taking to journal.
Okay.
And that journal we are not sure what kind of journal it is.
Okay.
We may get queries.
Okay.
The author might feel that okay, the conference is recommending I go for it.
Okay.
There is a chance
Yeah, yeah.
that may not have a big impact
Yes,
factor.
ma'am.
So is that organizing committee also responsible for such impact factors?
I will come to that point. It is part of my presentation. I will come to that. But we cannot blame the organizations. They always, try to make money out of something. But authors have to be responsible enough. We are, primarily responsible. Okay. So anyway, I will discuss about that. It is a part of my presentation. Okay. So now coming to the paper writing stage. You might have seen, many guides, supervisors, when a scholar approaches for registration, the first question would be, have you published any paper? First question. If he or she says yes, then the chances of getting enrolled is higher. Okay, that would be more. But again, they would give, advice to the scholar the moment they join. When you leave the department with your PhD, you have to have at least 20 papers to your credit. That is the target given to the scholars. Okay, but it's a wrong advice, I say, wrong advice. So because of at the time of joining, no scholar will be able to write any research paper. I can challenge 100%. Okay, but they can imitate. Imitation is different from writing. So they will identify an article. So like that, they will try to replicate. And the guides also will not find time. Oh, it has come out so well. You please get it published. But they will know the list of journals with a high impact factor. They will say, submit this to this journal. So within no time that will come back. They will say, most of the sentences have been only one statement. Most of the sentences have been copied from internet. So I must reject your paper. That's all. So then they will try with the next journal. 2-3 repeated journals will respond the same. So ultimately, oh my God, you have done a lot of work. Your effort should not go waste. Somehow you get it published. Then they end up with predatory journals for 500 rupees within 24 hours. Okay, so that is how the number goes up. So here we as we can call it information controllers. Okay, information growth controllers. We say exponential growth. So this is the reason why it goes up. So here, research is a process. Everybody knows about it. Okay, we don't have to tell you how to go about. But here, our concern is when to start writing a paper out of the processes, okay, steps that you follow. So to do a research, we start with a proposal. When you say proposal, it is purely tentative. So if it has to be further refined, okay, so what we have to do, we have to scan through the existing literature available in the relevant area. So that is what is called study the bibliography in the form of literature review. So once you do that, your idea is completely refined. You are able to frame the objectives, writing problem statement also. Then you are able to devise the corresponding methodology. So once it is done, again I am telling you, if it is done, fine. If not, again you have to start from the proposal. So still, if you are not clear, you have to go for pilot study. Pilot study in case of the social sciences, they will go for survey with a little sample. Similar science also they will do experiment in the laboratory with a little sample. So if it is done right, feasibility study. If it is feasible, we have to go further. If not, again you have to start from the proposal. And at the end, once the proposal is ready, that is not final again. All scholarly publications are subject to peer review. So my scholar has drafted his proposal in consultation with me, but that I cannot say that it is final. So above the scholar and the supervisor, there is a committee called doctoral committee. So doctoral committee has to recommend. So once the proposal is presented before the committee, if the proposal is complete in every respect, the committee members will definitely appreciate and compliment. If there are some limitations with the proposal what my scholar presents, they will suggest for improvement. So once the suggestions are incorporated, your proposal gets modified, revised. So that is almost a final proposal. So here the reason for giving due emphasis for drafting proposal and making it final is that if your proposal is ready in every respect, it is almost equivalent to 50% of the research work done. The remaining is only execution. So, the right stage of writing a paper by a scholar or the budding researchers is that once your proposal is ready, you have to have the conceptual clarity. So, this is a stage where you gain confidence and competence in a topic of research. So, this is the right stage to ask a scholar or to start writing a paper initially for a conference, not to the journal directly, for a conference. So, this process will take, at least in my case, I never allow my scholars unless they are clear with the proposal. I give them 6 months, 6 months from the date of joining. For the first 6 months, I will never, I won't even constitute doctoral committee. I will tell them you have to come out with a tentative proposal that has to be further refined. I am there to help guide you, but you have to understand clearly, I have already got my doctorate, I do not want any more doctorates, you have to do. You have research, you have to do that. So, for 6 months they will take time, they will come with base articles and they will try to present and they have to convince me, all that happens. So, through that process you can even randomly check any scholar from our department, they will be better than the teachers in the conceptual clarity, otherwise we will never allow them to proceed. So, this is the stage where we have to ask them to write paper, they will definitely come out with very good paper. With that they can just present like a conference where it is held. Once they present, definitely the people who are there as audience will well receive the presentation. So, once they are well versed with the presentation of what the person has made, based on that the person who is presenting will be invited in future maybe for a talk. Okay, that means he is very strong in that particular area of research. When you say ontology or altmetrics, so so and so is the person. When you say IPR, Dr. Ilavagan we always say, okay, IPR or plagiarism. So, like that you have to gain confidence that by having thorough study on that. So, the process of spending about 6 months makes a scholar thorough in their topic of research. So, they will be able to write paper. So, if you just guide in this way, definitely the number of papers going up can be controlled, because research scholars are responsible, and also I will say promoting agencies like UGC, ASCT and all, they are also responsible, because they came out with 2 publications initially, then 1 publication in a reputed journal, now no publication. Okay. So, it also there is not consistent. So, based on that, so we have to be conscious enough, as ma'am said, we cannot blame any other agency except for the authors. So, we have to be responsible. So, right place is to write paper is after revising your proposal of any research, be it an article or a thesis, that is the right stage. Okay. So, this is what. So, after that only execution, once it is ready, only you have to execute the methods and techniques what you have adopted by doing survey or by doing experiment in the laboratory. So, then there ends the matter. Okay. This is what. Then comes strategy 2, problem statement and literature review. How many of you are doctorates here? Oh, good number. How many of you are guiding PhDs? Okay, 3. So, how do you write problem statement? Normally, I am not asking the person, the people who are guiding or who have done doctorate. Normally, when we do research, how do you write a problem statement? What do you mean by problem statement? Problem statement, how do you write? Mostly, what people do is that they think that you might have seen in every subject, either in chapter 1 or in chapter 4, statement of the problem, caption, section heading, under that the topic of the current study entitled, within double quotes they will repeat the topic which is printed on the cover. They think that that is problem statement. Many people are confused. Problem statement is nothing but the topic, but that is a wrong conception, it is totally wrong. Problem is nothing but the topic of research. Statement is nothing but the description about the topic, why we have selected this as topic of research, we have to justify with the strong evidences, but you do not find in any subject, because I am not only talking from library science point of view. My wife is a civil engineer, she is doctorate in civil engineering, so I have helped her in literature review and all, thesis writing also. But when I was going through, I could see the same scenario in engineering also. So it is not that that is exceptional, any discipline is exceptional, not like that. I have thoroughly checked everything, okay. So this is what. Now we have to understand, because we people are very experienced as reviewers of any article or any adjudicator of any thesis. The first and foremost point would be title. Right away we will move on to the problem statement. If these two are not clear, article will be returned and thesis will be asked to revise. So that is what happens. So now here I am giving you an example, small example, how to write for any topic. This would be applicable, okay. So this going to the movies a real problem, that's the topic, okay, that's the topic. Since we belong to social sciences, we follow APA style manual, American Psychological Association. You people may adopt IEEE, but any style manual will suggest to have 3 supporting evidences to justify a topic of research. So in this case, the reasons or supporting evidences have to be identified by the researcher, not by the supervisor, by the researcher on his or her own. Okay, to identify reasons, we have to scan through the literature completely, okay, to provide 3 strong evidences. So in this case, supporting evidence, incomes of going out, tempting and expensive snacks, and behavior of other moviegoers. These 3 are the related issues, but not the same. Okay, all 3 are interrelated. You might have heard about salami slicing yesterday. Okay, salami slicing, duplicating papers with the same idea. But in this case, you can write, when you have identified 3 distinct reasons for conducting your research, you can have 3 unique papers. Because these are all interrelated but not same, okay, all are different. So here we have to write statement, how to write statement now. While writing statement, topic has to be connected with the identified supporting evidences, okay. So look at this paragraph, the hazards of going out, first evidence, the expensive snacks, second one, and the behavior of other movie goers are some of the problems of going to the movies. So topic and the supporting evidences both are connected. While connecting, it forms a statement which is called problem statement. So most of us miserably fail in this, okay. This is a starting point. So when we fail in this, definitely there is no further assessment by the peer experts, and definitely they will not do, okay. This is how we have to write. Next is literature review. This is also an issue that we have come across, okay. So here most of us, what we do, we are very good at collecting literature, identifying the relevance, okay, grouping that according to the parameters or the variables that you have identified. When it comes to presentation of review, we do what? We follow chronological order of arranging the reviews. Is it the right way? Is it the right way of presenting review in chronological order? Is it correct? Okay. Is it correct? Presenting reviews in the chronological order, is it the right way of presenting our review? Then what is the right one? Said yes. Reverse order, okay. But both are chronological only. Recent to past and past to present. Keywords, okay. Okay. Mostly librarians are here, 28 people. It's a good number, okay, large majority. Because we have been acquiring new documents in the library, okay. Or maybe you have acquired 100 books, new books. 5 in psychology, 10 in chemistry. Not 100 books are from the same discipline, okay. Another 5 in English, 7 books are from economics, like that. It is completely scattered disciplines, total 100 books. So what we do, the first activity would be after collation. After collation, we assign accession numbers, serial numbers for others. It is a serial number given to a new book in the library, but again unique number. So if the librarians arrange all those 100 books scattered, from maybe 7-8 subjects, in according to accusation number, what will happen? What will happen? Subjects will be scattered, right? When a user comes to the library, okay, there may be 3 books in chemistry. To identify those 3 books, they have to go through the entire, I say 100, when it is in lakh, same thing, it will be all the more complex for the end users, okay. But here we have another approach in the library. All the subjects would be, titles would be converted into ordinal numbers called class number. If you say electrical technology by Teraja, okay, that is a book. It may be by Teraja or Tyagarajan or somebody else, but title is same, electrical technology. But electrical technology will have the same number, where it is written by any author, any publisher, any country, whatever it may be, but title is converted into a single number. So once we arrange all those documents according to class number, what happens? Subjects will be accumulated automatically. When user with one approach, maybe he or she may know only one author and one book. When he comes to the stack, he or she will find many more better books than the book what he or she knew. Okay, that opportunity is given for the end user, right? The same way, when we arrange reviews, we should never follow chronological order. Reason is, the idea reported at different times by different experts in different sources would be completely scattered. Okay, I will give you a simple example, use of e-resources by the research scholars of this PSG College of Technology. Okay, that is the topic of research. So when you say e-resources, it is a broader term. Under e-resources there may be e-book, e-journals, e-magazines, web portals, directories like that. So if a user in future, any research that is done is for the future researchers, we have to understand. When a user in future reads my thesis, okay, that user is expanding his research related to my research which has already been done, okay, to just do further research. He is confining to only e-books, okay, e-books. But if he or she wants to know about the articles or the papers reviewed by the previous researcher on e-books alone, what they have to do, if you use chronological order, he or she will have to go through the entire chapter. Literature review may be around 30-40 pages to identify 3 documents which are relevant. Nobody will waste that much of time. So here when we talk about the quality, we have to think about usability, okay. Instead of that, if you just make clusters according to the variables under which you can follow any order of arrangement, but you have to identify the relevant articles in a particular area for identified clusters. Then within that you have to bring everything. For example, if you find have 200 articles, out of 200 only 7 articles are related to e-books alone. So all those 7 articles have to be brought at one place. This is what is called thematic review or topical review. So if you use chronological order, nobody is going to touch that. When they don't touch, no usage, no impact. Okay, that's the reason. You might have seen in foreign articles, thought content may be, full text may be 4 pages. But if you look at the cited reference, that will be more than 5 pages. Reason is, it is merely compilation of the ideas of the people who have already reported at the different sources. Okay. So finally we will come out with our small piece of idea. So small piece of idea is supported based on the published literature. So that is what we have to understand. While doing so, we have to always follow thematic review or topical review for not making an environment for the end users a complex environment. Okay. So it has to be as simple as possible. Then only they will chances of getting our publications used by the end users. Okay. This is how we have to enhance. So let me give you an example how to write thematic review and the merits and demerits also. So here simply teaching calculus through different methods is the only idea. Okay, but here hardly one paragraph taken from many sources. I said, it is merely compilation of the ideas of different people from different sources. So that is the job of the researcher, okay. So this is what. So only one paragraph taken from more than almost 5 to 7 sources, let us say. Instead of this thematic, if you follow chronological, what will happen? You have to prepare 7 such similar paragraphs. The remaining 6 paragraphs will be a duplicate of the first paragraph, okay. And again you will start writing one by one. For each author you will have to say X says, Y argues, okay, this is reported. So like that we have this simple proper syntax to make use of it. So that will definitely confuse the end users, nobody will touch our work. So if you use like this, definitely they will be able to get what they want at one place. So it will save time, and also the chances of using our document will increase, okay, will increase completely. So this is how we have to write. And one more thing, you may ask, do we have to cite every word, every statement, that will go n number of citations. So that is, the more you cite, the more the weightage is given to your scholarly work. So that is why you don't have to think about number of cited works at the end. So it has to be as many as possible, because our people know, library science people, when you do bibliometric analysis, a PG student can easily rate a PhD thesis of an engineering or science or technology. They will not read the content. So how the authors have used the citations, okay, use references, okay, based on that, they will right away go to the bibliography or the references. They will try to extract all those entries. While extracting, if there are about 75 entries, they will say not bad. A PG student, based on the number of citations we have given at the end, okay, 75 not bad, 100 to 150 good. When it crosses 150 to 200, very good. When it crosses 200, they will say excellent. That's the rating given by a layman, we can say, PG student who doesn't know anything about the research, okay. So that is why we should try to give as many references as possible from diversified sources, not from the same source. So that is why this this method will definitely enhance the quality of writing and also usability of this particular document by the end users, by which you can definitely get proper impact. The second one, another example, is hardly 2 sentences, okay. This is from my own paper. Simply use of ICT in the museums and the perception of visitors from different countries. Only 7, more than 7 references. So hardly 2 sentences, okay. So every word has to be cited. If it is a established terminology and proposed by some pioneers, okay. That's what. So now content writing, since we are loaded with a lot of digital information, we are confused with the structural components, how we have to make. Guides may know, or scholars may not know. So but for that we have a tool called Scrivener, which is available for $40. So this one, what it does, I just tried with this. When you just click on this menu, all scholarly publications will appear. Scholarly publications including research proposal. So I just clicked on research proposal. This template appears automatically. It will come out, because we are confused with which will come first and next. Whether it is objectives and literature review or literature review objectives, we will always have the confusion in case of structural components. But this one, it starts starting with the cover 2, references including budget. So here only thing, we have to just feed the information whatever is required relevantly to each facet. So this is what. Next one is LaTeX. It is free, everybody knows about it, but we should know little bit of query language to extract reports, which may be a bit difficult, but it is absolutely free. So this can be used for the structural reports. Ref and write is like a Scrivener, but available for $38. This also can be used for that. Then typeset, this is very important tool for researchers particularly. Most of us spend our time in the DTP centers for composing, formatting, then getting first draft, second draft. One is time and the other one is money. Both are involved. So to save that without going anywhere, just sitting at your own system, it is a free tool available. Only for one page you have to set up. one page. Okay, one page you have to set up maybe this your section heading is in 14 times New Roman bold. Then body of the text 12 times New Roman again. For one page you have to set up. Okay, but the remaining pages may be millions. It will follow uniformly for the entire document. So this is very useful tool for the researchers to particularly a draft manuscript for maybe article or thesis writing or dissertation preparation. For anything this would be very useful. Okay, yeah, it's absolutely free, ma'am. There are two versions, but for authors this is more than enough. More than for publishers, it is commercial. Like Grammarly, I will tell you about that. So there are different versions. For one primary version is more than enough for the authors, only for formatting. But other things, the many more things are involved with that, like in-text citations, reference management, all that. For that you have to pay. But this one only for formatting, it is absolutely free, right? So then comes once you are clear with the structural components and also you have fed the details into each facet. So then when you look at, you may feel that many sentences have been reproduced. So let me paraphrase at some places. While paraphrasing there are chances for errors. So mostly a document with less errors in terms of spelling and grammar and punctuation will have the chances of accepting that article at the first instance. So later on they will check, but acceptance rate would be very very high when a document is written in proper English. So for that we may write, but there are chances for errors. So how to eliminate those errors? We have again a tool called after the deadline, absolutely free tool. So this is what I have just tested my own writing. When I copied this one, it is it is coming out with some underlines like green, blue and all. So when you just click on check writing, it will come out with what mistakes I have done along with the solution. It can be easily changed. So this is what. Similarly, Grammarly is commercial version. It's a commercial tool. Everybody knows about it. But again, there are three different versions: free, premium, and business. And the free version has got the feature of checking grammar and punctuation errors for free. So it is for authors. It is almost free only. We can simply download and start checking our manuscripts. So this is how it is done. So here again I checked the same paragraph here in the Grammarly. It says I am entitled for, preposition for I have used, it is wrong. So it is suggesting for, instead of for, better use to, entitled to, okay, to, that is better. So if you accept all these changes, just by single click your entire document will be completely modified. So if you don't want to change it, you can ignore also, because most of the times whenever I go to some places as a doctoral committee member, when we listen to the presentation, there will be some errors like this. So when we suggest, scholar will be so meticulous to note down everything. When I go for the next meeting, I cannot find resulting revisions. So then it will remain as it is. I cannot ask also in front of the guide. So then later on I asked the scholars, last time I suggested many things. Why didn't you incorporate all that? They said, no sir, my guide said whatever he says, he is useless. Me, he is useless, he doesn't know anything, don't change anything, stick to my advice. So guide said like that. So what to do? Such guides are there who are incorrigible, very difficult to change. But if they argue with them, they will not get degree. So because of that, they learn wrong concepts, wrong guidance from the people. Through that leads to this one, poor impact. Okay. So that is how it happens. So like that, if you accept that it is wrong, you can accept. If not, you can ignore also. With the errors, it will go and come back, right? So this is what happens. Now, very important area. Break. Start பண்ணலாமா? Right. Okay. That madam wanted to come. Anyway, no problem. We have to stick to the time. Improper citations, I say this is strategy 5. We all know that Citation is the base for any assessment, okay, be it author profile or institution profile or journal profile, anything, for anything, citation is the base. But unless you give your citation in a proper way, your citation will not be considered at all for any assessment. So, this citation has to be properly given. Here I use improper citations. Very consciously I have used the word improper citations. So, when the citation is improper, impact will be zero. Impact of the citations which have been given with the mistakes would be a big zero, right? So, this is what I say improper citation. Improper citation, when you say improper, we have to provide evidence also. So, this is the page which I have taken from Sodganga. Okay, Sodganga is the repository, everybody knows, right? So, when you say it's a repository, when does it reach repository? Or not after submission, after awarding the degree. After awarding. So, after awarding, it goes to Sodganga, right? So, this is a PhD thesis available in Sodganga. So, this is the thesis prepared by a scholar in consultation with the supervisor, recommended by doctoral committee, forwarded by HOD and dean, and adjudicated by 2 or 3 examiners, and one of the examiners will be finally called for conducting viva to see the originality. So, once it is done successfully, degree is awarded. So, once the degree is awarded, then this goes to the library for depositing that particular thesis in the repository. Okay, that is what. So, this is the published thesis, okay, in Sodganga. For the entire country, we talked about that ranking, ranking in terms of H index. This is the source which is representing the scholarly publications of the country in terms of PhD thesis, okay, ETD repository. So, here just you see, this is the, first of all, this is not review. We should know the difference between review and summary. Summary is, just extracting a paragraph of your work and presenting in whichever way we want. So, this is only summary, this is not review. What I have shown as an example is called review, okay, just collecting, identifying, selecting, reading, understanding, assimilating, then you have to present in your own way, okay, paraphrased manner you have to write, okay, that is what is called review of the literature already existing in a particular topic. That's why it's called review of the literature. But here it is only identifying papers, extracting summaries and presenting. This is summary, not review. But this is published thesis. This is from the literature review chapter. You can see again chronological arrangement. Okay, chronological arrangement. You can just check. You see how they give. I said improper citation. How it is given, you can just check. Okay, I'll give you solution also, but the problems I have to tell you first. Author 1 and 2, first author and second author within bracket year of publication 1 on the same page. Next one is author name followed by initials and within bracket year of publication in the same page in a different paragraph. Next, another page, author name followed by initials without bracket, like that there are 6 names within bracket year of publication, right? Then last one, author name followed by initials and initial followed by author name within bracket year of publication. Okay, is it consistent? Any subject, any discipline will have to follow a style manual, be it APA or MLA or Chicago, Throbian, IEEE, MCA, anything of that sort. But no style manual will suggest inconsistent reporting of or citing of in-text citations. So, this is totally wrong. We people know very well, library science people, we know how to record in-text citations. Okay, this is wrong. That's why I said it is improper citation. Next one is, it's not legible, but I'll tell you the problem with that. Author name followed by year of publication in between superscript number 39. Okay, 39. So, this is one way of citing. Next is author name followed by initials Within bracket year of publication, again number 40, here without initial, here with initials. Okay. So this is also totally wrong. Again taken from South Ganga. Right. Third one is example 3, very interesting example. Look at this one, first author and other 9 authors, within bracket year of publication, right, and above all number 9 and all the more above footnote. Totally, contradicting, totally wrong, totally wrong. So if this is wrong, when this is taken for consideration while ranking of the institutions or the countries, so what kind of rating will you get? That is why we are far below in terms of H index.
In some papers, there is no initial for author name alone will be given.
Yeah.
Some paper initial will be given.
Okay.
Then how we can cite that? If initial is not given in the paper,
Okay. I'll come to that, ma'am. I'll give you a solution. It will be clear. Okay. So these 3 are the different examples what I have shown, taken from South Ganga, which is reliable, authentic repository for the entire country, which will be considered for the ranking of institutions. So it's totally wrong. I was just talking about citation, ma'am, how we people have given already. Okay, it's all published work, and the problems what are there, I have just highlighted here. Yeah. Mm.
that they have a peer review committee and
Okay.
they check all their thesis.
Okay. Okay.
At that time itself they can,
Yeah, rectify. They can rectify. They can rectify.
but they don't inform anything about this.
They don't know. That's the reason. If they have to correct you, they have to be clear. They are wrong.
Anna University is a big university.
Yeah.
Distributes a PhD degree
Yeah.
every year.
Yes, ma'am.
1,000 and
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's around 5,000.
That has led to the ranking, I told you, third.
To rectify this,
Yeah.
correct our nature, our nation's
Yeah, that is what, ma'am. I appreciate your feeling, but who will correct? It's a $1 million question.
librarian should be involved. I think English department is involved. They look
English department, they also don't know. I have already, I have experimented the entire country. I teach more for other disciplines than library science, because our people know already about this. It will be boring for them. But for other subjects, they'll be, okay, should be educated. They should not be in the panel at all. Why should we educate them? Such people should not be empaneled. Okay, that is the problem where we lack. Anyway, I will come to that solution. So these are the major issues. When you give wrong citation, that leads to zero impact. Okay, so then what is the solution? So based on the examples, as I said, any scholarly publication has to conform to any of the style manuals in the world. If you people from engineering, you have to stick to IEEE style manual. So you can't deviate from that. So if you get deviated, that's wrong. That's wrong. Then definitely people like who are on the panel have to correct it. But if they also fail, there is no chance of rectifying. So now we have to clearly understand the citation methods in the entire world. Universally, there are only 2 methods. One is enumerated system, the other one is author date. Okay, and both methods cannot be combined. Any one of these methods has to be adopted by any of the style manuals in the world. For example, IEEE enumerated system, APA author date, Chicago enumerated. So like that, every style manual will have its own pattern. Okay, that's what. But in the examples what I have shown, you were able to find combination of many, which will be no citation given almost equivalent. Okay, this is what. Now the example is enumerated says this from my own thesis. Okay, this one paragraph I have just extracted to just only demonstrate. So this is the one. I will come to your point, ma'am, once I complete this. This is the statement which I have taken from one source. Statement means idea. I have borrowed only idea, but I have not reproduced. Based on my understanding, I have rewritten in my own way. So when I rewrite, ideas have been borrowed. Idea has been borrowed. So idea has to be acknowledged. So while acknowledging idea, I have to use the style manual. So here this enumerated, according to enumerated system, I have to assign numbers as 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 at the end, madam, while listing your cited references at the end, it has to be according to the number that you have supplied in the body of the text, like 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. A reason is, this paragraph is mine, but not for me. It is for the end user. When the end user reads this particular statement, when he reads this statement, he or she may need more information about this particular statement. But where will they get? My statement will not help at all. But this 8 will help. 8 will help. 8 doesn't make any sense to the reader. But 8 will redirect the user to the cited references where he or she will be able to find serial number 8. So where they will find the complete bibliographic details, from where they can retrieve full text, then they can read and understand in whichever way they want. So this is a logic behind it. Okay, logic behind it. So according to enumerated system, we have to assign numbers as 1, 2, 3, and at the end, list of bibliographic entries has to be arranged in the numbers as you have supplied according to the numbers. So this is one way of citing. It is called enumerated system. Simply giving numbers, enumerated system. Yeah. Yeah. Which is APA style? No. This is not APA. This is enumerated. This one. No, APA will never have numbers, serial numbers. I'll come. 8, 9, 10 has to be followed. Not as per APA, enumerated system. APA is the style menu which follows author date. Which one, ma'am? This one, let us say MLA, Chicago. This IEEE, but IEEE is customized. This is with the square bracket, it will be there. I'll come to that point. So we have to understand only two methods are there in the world. One is enumerated, the other one is author date. Let me complete this one, then we will discuss. Okay, so this is what. So now, next is, this is author date system. So we have to only focus mainly on the methods of citation, then we can come to the style manual. Okay, I'll give you time. So here, this is author date system idea, but here author date system, as madam said, at times we write initials without initials. While giving citation to the author, I am R. Sevukan. Okay, Rathinam Sevukan. My name is recorded in different way. Sevukan Rathinam, Rathinam Sevukan, R. Sevukan, Sevukan, or like that. Here, the reason for using initial is to individualize an author from other authors. If there are two Sevukans, so I have to be individualized. For that, initials are used. But when somebody uses my idea in their research in future, I alone have to be acknowledged, not my father. My father has not contributed. This statement is mine. When somebody writes this one, Sevukan, 2023. That's what it's called, name of the author, real author, and the year of publication. Put together, it is called author date system. Author date system. So while recording author names, it has to be proper. Okay, in the examples what I have shown, in whichever they want, they had written. That is totally a wrong practice. It will lead to no citations. Okay, that's what. Now, while a reader reads this particular statement, if they want to know more about, no scope, only this will help. When they look at this GARC, they will understand it is name of the author. Then this GARC will redirect the reader to the cited references where they will find the letter G, but not number 8. Not number 8, letter G. Okay, letter G, it will go to the third position. In the previous example enumerated, it was in the first. Okay, numbers have vanished. Numbers have vanished. So while using author date system, real name of the author followed by year of publication has to be used in the body of the text. And while presenting your list of references at the end under cited references, you have to use completely with initials and all. Okay, this is how we have to do. But While arranging the entries alphabetical order, no number should be given. Now coming to the style manual. Style manual. Hmm. Okay. 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 But under cited references you will find, cited references you will find. You can easily make out. Okay. AB. AB. Yeah. First one will be without that number AB. First one will be as it is GRK 1999. When you use the same in the different place, GRK 1999 A, then B, like that. But in the same year, different works. See, same year, different works. Same year, different works, not the same work. Yeah, different works by the same author in the same year. Yeah. So after immediately here it will come. No, not after bracket. 99A. Then bracket will be closed. 99A, 99B, like that. If it falls in the same year, right? So this is what. So now coming to the style manual, as Sir was asking, APA, this is the method. AP uses author date system, but in our case, mostly the PhD thesis, they arrange alphabetical order, they give serial numbers also to just inform the reviewer that we have reviewed more than 200 articles, by which they may get a better rating. So that is not the way. That is wrong practice. We have to use only this one. But only thing in APA, the intent will be 5 spaces inside or 1 tab. Next line, it has to go inside. So anybody can make out that it is according to AP, alphabetical order of arrangement, with 1 tab inside. Only intention. Okay, so this is how we have to do that. No issues. That will be unique. Only in the same year, if they have more than 2 publications to be cited in a same document by the citing agency or referring author, so they have to use AB, like that. Okay. A, that's all. No punctuation, no punctuation. Only A, B, that's all. Small a. Okay, good, very good. So next is personal communication, citing personal communication. Many people, say that information received through emails, personal discussion, interviews and all cannot be cited. That also can be cited because, as I said, any word has to be cited. Any word has to be, the more you increase the citations, weightage is also added to a scholarly work. Okay, so here one strategy, our librarians know very well, personal communication. When you say personal communication, the information that you receive through email letters, telephone conversations, interviews, etc. Okay, yesterday, G.R.D had come, that Ramesh Gaur. So since he is from, capital, there are chances for him to know more information about the future, okay, developments or initiatives. So when he says something, that may have motivated one of you to conduct research on that. Okay, so if you have to mention that as one of the reasons why you have selected this topic, rule may not permit, but it is permitted. It is called personal communication. Personal communication has to be mentioned only in the body of the text. Body of the text, because anything that you list under cited references has to be locatable. Because yesterday this happened. One of you met Gaur and you were influenced by his statement. So you have done that. But after 20 years, when the end user reads that statement, he cannot look for either one of you or the expert who was here to share experiences. Okay. In that case, it has to be only in the body of the text, like Gaur, okay, Gaur, within bracket personal communication, then yesterday's date of event, and what information you got, message you want to convey. So like that. This will be only in the body of the text, but not under cited references. So end user will understand that. So this is personal communication which took place between the researcher and the respondent. So it will clearly indicate, okay. That is why this is the way how we have to cite, right. So this is what is called personal communication. This one, citing secondary source. Citing secondary source, this is, mostly our students and scholars, they commit this mistake. What they do, while conducting literature review, when they read an article, there may be a paragraph well written in a crisp manner. There is no scope for paraphrasing or rewriting. They want to adopt as it is. In such a situation, what they do, they will copy that paragraph along with the references by ignoring the source from where they are taking. That's a wrong practice. So that is why it's called citing secondary source. So let me tell you, if you just see the slide, it will be confusing. I will explain. Okay. Paper A, paper B, paper C. Right. A is the original paper. B has written a paper based on A. Okay. C is writing a paper based on A and B, but C has access to only the full text of B, but not A. But C has come to know about A from B. In this case, for C, A is primary, B is secondary, because C has come to know about A from B. In this situation, so what we have to write, A study within bracket as cited in B. Then you can copy that paragraph whatever you want. But while giving citation at the end, cited references, you have to give citation to only B but not A. Reason is C has gone through the full text of B but not A. So only for the source that you have used has to be given citation. So this is a simple logic. But mostly we people, due to lack of knowledge in that, we simply copy by ignoring that. So when you give citation to A, by knowing from B, it becomes a false citation. False impact may not be accurate. So that is the reason why we have to consciously use citations. Okay, this is how we have to do that. Then anyway, you have a good number of tools now instead of remembering everything. Reference management tools like Zotero, Mendeley, EndNote, folks. Maybe as part of your course, you may have some experts who are going to explain. It is only to just tell you about the names of different style, reference management styles available. Okay, these are the things. Then comes improper quotations. Improper quotation, because as I said, any information that is available on the internet is for use, but it has to be properly used. So you might have heard about one case, okay, C.N.R. Rao, who is, Bharat Ratna. So when he was about to be nominated, he was caught. He was in the plagiarism row in that particular year. Reason is, others, who were with him could not tolerate. They were trying to find fault with him, and finally they got with this paper. And it was done by a scholar. That paper was also submitted to a very reputed journal. But the thing, what the scholar did as a mistake, he actually reproduced 3 sentences in the introduction part and 1 equation. So that was the only copied portion. But media publicized that the entire paper was plagiarized. He should not be considered for Bharat Ratna. So that was the claim of the people who just raised this issue. But in spite of that, C.N.R. Rao admitted there may be chances for plagiarism. I will withdraw that paper. He wanted to withdraw that paper. But by looking at the novelty of the idea in the paper, the editor, was not willing to get that paper back to C.N.R. Rao. And still, what he did? He had to write an apology letter to the editor that this has happened. So with the apology note, that particular article was published. Such a great scientist, for him also, when it comes to an issue, it is a consequence we have to face. The main issue was use of quotation in an improper way. Still it was a fault. Okay, you may be any kind of scientist. Okay, but still when there is a mistake has to be admitted. So this was done. So now we as writers or the authors, we have to understand how we have to quote some materials. There are 2 types of instances in quotation. One is direct quotation, the other one is block quotation. 2 types of quotations. The direct quotation means you have to copy as it is word for word verbatim. Verbatim, you are not supposed to even change the punctuation. If you change the punctuation, it is paraphrased. So you can't say that it is quoted material, right? So here, after copying word for word verbatim, you have to count the number of words. If it is less than 40, it is called a direct quotation. Direct quotation. So when it is less than 40, you have to put that copied portion in double quotes, followed by, this is according to APA, author name, year of publication. One more element is added here, page number 40, because we are sure about from where we are copying. Okay, 3 elements: author name, year of publication, and page number. Then at the end, full stop. So this is the way how we have to do. But in this case, see in a Rao's case, he actually copied, gave citation also. He failed to put that copied portion within double quotes. Only quotation marks were not used. So still it was a mistake. It was a mistake. He had to answer. So this is how we have to do. Yeah, without even changing. It won't come. It won't come, ma'am. It won't come. So because in the parameters, while configuring, there are chances for excluding that quoted portions. So our people will answer you in a better way. There is option. Yeah. It is there. It is there. We can configure and we can exclude that. So the next instance is, it is called a block quotation. When it exceeds 40 words, it is called block quotation. We call it quotation, but you can't find quotation marks. There are no quotation marks here used. But the strategy of using this block quotation is totally different. Okay, you start with the source from where you are taking, ending with the punctuation colon. Okay, then you have to copy the portions that you want to reproduce. So after copying, you have to make it prominent by specific formatting. The specific formatting is, you have to first copy. After copying, you have to make it double spaced standing line, and 1 tab or 5 spaces from left. Okay, to make it prominent. Then at the end, you have to give the page number. Okay, so this is what is called block quotation. But as you asked, this also can be understood by the editor, reviewer, and also the software. They will understand. It will be excluded. Okay, so in this way, you can use as many as possible according to copyright. We can copy 2 pages from a particular source. Okay, so up to that, you can just make these quotation strategies to make your document properly used, and you will never face the plagiarism related consequences when you adopt these 2 strategies. Many people say that plagiarism is a big issue, but the citation and quotation are the solutions to that problem. Okay, so we have to properly use it. This is actually source, ma'am. Source becomes as an author. From which source we are taking, this APA. This is the one. This is actually like a corporate author. Author name will come. Like previous example, since it is less than 40 words, it is direct quotation. When it exceeds 40 with the individual authors, same this one. And this one, it is according to APA. Only IEEE alone suggests for quoted block quotation, from both sides 1 tab. From both sides, it will be at the center. Okay, according to IEEE. This APA from left side, from right side also it will be there for IEEE. All other style manuals suggest only left. Okay, so this is how we have to use quotation marks. Now, predatory journals and publishers. So because as we have already said, contribution to predatory journals, we are at number 1, and publishing at number 2. Okay, that was a statement. So now we have to think about why these journals, because we already know that predatory journals are considered fake journals. Okay, fake journals. Now, why these predatory journals came into existence? We have to understand about that. When we talk about open access policy or open access movement, which came in the early 21st century, right? A person who is working in headquarters, Delhi, Ramesh Gaur is there, okay, he is there as a faculty, let us say. And one person is there in a remote area, so let us say Vellalar College, okay, where madam is from, okay. When it comes to recruitment and promotion, the credentials which are expected from both are same those days, okay. So that person who is working in capital, Ramesh Kaur, would have seamless access to scholarly publications. And a faculty who is working in Vellalar College, E-Road, may not have even seen some of the scholarly publications. Okay, hell and heaven difference. But both wanted to do research, but one side, overload of publications, the other side, dearth of resources. But the expectation was same from both when it comes for assessment. So to eliminate that barrier, discrimination, like-minded people and publishers, particularly from USA, came forward to come out with author pay model. So to make scholarly publications partially accessible for those people who are working in the remote areas who do not have access to the scholarly publications, to encourage them. The idea was well received and also it was well appreciated by many people across the world. But only one person, that Jeffrey Bell, was against, because he is he is from library science only, editor of a very popular journal of academic librarianship, and he was academic librarian. Okay, for quite a couple of decades, he was editing and also he was rendering effective services to the academic community. This fellow was against that open access policy. Then what he did was, he just wanted to monitor the movement of publishers, open access publishers. He set some criteria. Based on that criteria, he started assessing all open access journals. Whatever the journals which were not conforming to the criteria set by Jeffrey Bell were considered to be potentially predatory. Predatory means fake journal. Then he identified many journals. In the year 2011, he found 18 publishers. So you can just imagine, one publisher may have more than 100 publications, 100 journals. So when it is 18, it's huge. But that rose to 923 by the end of 2016. Huge. Okay. And also I came to know from the literature that by the end of 2015, the profit for open access publishers was $75 million. Only profit alone. So looking at that, standalone journals also started. He found that 126 in 2013 and rose to 882 by the end of 2016. Okay, you can just imagine how many publishers and how many individual journals have emerged within a period of only 10 years. Okay, not even 10 years. So now you may wonder, we are in 2023 and you are showing the data of 2016. Why? A reason is, this website was hacked. It was serving as a tool for the authors, or genuine authors, to know about the predatory journals indexed in scholarlyoa.com, developed by Jeffrey Bell. Right. But in the year January 2017, it was hacked, but he did not stop. He continued to identify some more journals by indexing in the archives. All identified journals are there in the archives, publishers also, till December 2016. From January onwards, he started identifying journals and publishers, but he did not make it visible. But if you request as an author, you have to reveal your name, email, and what you want to know. Within no time, you will get reply, because it is still serving as a tool. Only thing we have to request. Okay. So, but for the identified journals prior to 2017 January, you can have access to that. All are there already. Okay. So this is the perfect tool for researchers to know about this one. And also one more thing has come out, Cabels. Cabels is the successor of Jeffrey Bell. Okay, that is also serving as a tool. But again, list is not visible, not a comprehensive list. They have some list identified already, but new journals are not added into that, because they will again try to hijack this one, or they may try to harm. Okay, this is what. Now, journal selection. Journal selection is the crucial stage, in the publication process. Even that madam also, Dr. Karpagam, she was telling, So many of us, sir, have published in Scopus indexed journals, but when it comes to the citations impact, we don't know how to analyze. We don't know where we are. Okay, that is one. And we are the people, who have to sensitize all our authors to identify the right journal to reach the right audience. Okay, right audience. And also many people, even in my own university, one person from chemistry, he said, sir, I have published my paper in Nature. Nature is the number one in the world, okay, as far as the impact factor is concerned, top ranked journal. But my citation, not even one, I have got a citation so far. The reason is, journal may be reputed, but the readers who are reading that journal may not require your content, or ours may be inferior compared to the other articles. And there are even studies also. There are studies, the average impact of the journal article has gone down because of the publications contributed by the authors from developing countries like India. Average citation will go down because publications of Indian authors may be part of the publication, journal. But when you do not get citations, that will affect. Like, our H index, in the same way. There are studies. That is why, but it was quite interesting. Last week we were in IGCAR. One scientist, who has got 62 as his H index, John Philip, I remember the way he spoke was so nice. He said, while telling impact factor is only for the journals, he understood thoroughly, but H index is for the authors. So we have to look at a decent journal. We used the right word, decent journal. Don't look at high-fi journals or low-impact journals also, decent journal. I have got all my publications, more than 410 articles he has published so far. Only decent journals. I cannot tell you a journal in which I have published does not get citation for my articles. The reason is, I find only my readers who are belonging to which journal. It may be impact factor 1 or 2 or 0 also, I don't mind. But I want my content to reach the right audience. That is the way how we have to select. Okay, not that based on the reputation of a journal. That will never give you any citation. Your H index will be still 0 only, right? Like our H index, Nature publication, the same way. So a decent journal is more than enough to influence the number of readers and also getting good number of citations. So here our people know much better than what I am going to tell you. There are good number of tools. We cannot simply have the comprehensive list of journals in mind, but there are tools which can suggest the right journal for our manuscript. Okay, manuscript. So this is the one. Springer, that it is actually commercial publisher, but on request they will organize free workshop to sensitize authors on how to write scientific articles and also how to get it published in the right journal for better impact. So here this is the one. So the tools, what I am telling here, simply you have to copy your topic of your article, and extended abstract, a full abstract which covers all the components that are there as part of your article. Only title and the abstract have to be copied. Then you just ask it to search, it will come out with list of journals along with the impact factor. Within the list produced by this tool, you can prioritize based on your understanding. Okay, that is what this tool does. So now Edans is absolutely a free tool. This can be used for identifying the right journals to get your manuscript published. And also, Edans, it is not only helping you to identify the journal, it does many other services also, like English editing, review editing, export scientific review, reviewer recommendation, cover letter development, abstract development. Many such services are done by Edans for free, but again it has a small limitation. So when you cross 20 submissions, it will ask you to pay some money when you cross 20 submissions. Okay, but again it's IP based. When you cross your 20th submission, change the system another 20. Okay, it will go on for life. Maybe 5 or 10 systems you can change. 200 articles, I don't think you'll be able to produce 200 articles for your life. Okay, it's almost free only. So we have to use that strategy, right? Vedans, right? So journal guide is another, such a very powerful tool which searches for you, compares, and also it will follow up whether you have submitted your manuscript to any of the journals suggested by this particular tool. Okay, journal guide is also very important tool to identify the right journal for your manuscript. Elsevier, again it is commercial. They are, render free workshop. This is the one what I told you, paper title, paper abstract in any domain. Any domain like, agriculture, geosciences, economics, life and health sciences, humanities and arts. In any domain, you can submit your request. Okay, it will bring you the list of journals. Okay, this is how it is done. Similarly, cofactor is also another journal identifier through which you will be able to identify the right journal to reach the right audience for better visibility and a greater impact. Okay, so these are the tools which can be used for selecting your journal. But scholars, when they ask the supervisors, they will say some, okay, just to make them feel that, our SAR is great in the whole world. They will say some journals, but your article will come back within no time. But these tools, will not cheat you. These will rather help you, okay, a lot. So then, failing to check similarity, and people, might have told you about yesterday also. Since we are, overloaded with a lot of digital contents, there are chances for repetition, reproduction. So when it is or maybe even coincidence also. In such a case, we have to simply check the similarity to have an idea. I am not saying that these tools, what I am going to tell you, will be superior than the other commercial ones like this one Urkunt or Turnitin, A4S, Authenticate, even Drillbit is coming up. So it cannot be superior to that, but still we can roughly have an idea about how much percentage of similarity we have made based on the online documents. So these are all tested tools like Viper, Dupli Checker, Plagiarism Checker, Copy Tracker. So these are the some tools which are available for free to know about the similarity percentage of the contents that you have produced based on the online documents. Okay, so this is what. And you can just you may ask how far it is reliable. It is reliable, all tested tools. Okay, tested tools. In case of commercial, you have to be double careful. But here reason is, while configuring, say for example Turnitin, there are two options. One is when you submit your submission, submit to no repository. The other one is student paper. See, if you fail to enable no repository, your deposit would be reposited in the student paper repository. When you submit next time, it will show 99%. Okay, but this one, it's all pre-configured. It will not be submitted in any repository, only it will give you the similarity percentage with the highlights of the text. Okay, that is what it gives, right? So then, impact factor and H index. Did anybody cover this one? How do you calculate impact factor? Our people will have a ready-made answer. Last 2 years. Anybody not from library science? How do you calculate, ma'am? Are you from library science? So how do you calculate impact factor? Any idea? So now, I say fake impact factor and H index. Fake impact factor and H index, right? Any indicator, whether it is H index or impact factor or G index, I-10 index, base is citation. Citation. So as ma'am said, number of citations received divided by number of articles published in a journal in the last 2 years. Okay. So literally we have to wait for 3 years minimum. 3 years minimum to have an impact factor for a journal. But there are companies agencies, fake companies which are supplying numbers for money. Okay, if you give 2000 rupees for the first volume, first issue, that will come out with impact factor 2.0038. Very accurately they will give for 2000. If you give 5000 rupees, first volume, first issue, 5.4383 like that, very accurately, but without having that background details, number of citations. Okay, there are companies like this. Spark indexing, we should be familiarized with that. Okay, when you come across these names, we have to be careful. We should not publish our articles in this type of journals where you have found these names. Spark indexing, a root society for indexing and impact factor service, intellectual property and science. Okay, and you have to understand all these companies are mostly from India. Okay, particularly from West Bengal, right? West Bengal and Rajasthan, they are the people who are giving numbers mostly. Similarly, this one, this is very, very popular. In every open access journal you will find this one. GISI, Global Institute for Scientific Information, Journal Impact GIF, okay, Journal Impact Factor. So these are the companies which are supplying numbers for money without having any base data. Okay, base data. Now we have to understand how to calculate what is actual impact factor. Okay, so here we have to clearly understand. This was again proposed by Garfield in the 1960, who is the founder of Web of Science, what we are enjoying today, ISI. Okay, Web of Science. So they started indexing good number of articles those days, journals, but they could not find which journal is better, which is moderate, which is poor. So keeping that in view only, he initially started with some indicator called impact factor, okay, to measure about the quality of a journal based on the number of usage. Let us say usage in simple words. Okay, then comes citation. So then it is meant for only journals, and many faculties are confused. Even my university also, when we were running for CAs to submit our applications during 2015, one of my colleagues, not from my department, from some other department, he came and, what is your impact factor? He asked me. Huh? Impact factor for, I have no impact. Hey, you are a useless fellow. Nonsense. Then I asked, what is your impact factor? My impact factor, it is around 25, he said. Hey, impact factor is not for authors, sir, it is only for journals. Who said? You don't know anything, he said. So then I said, can I see your publications? It was in a bound volume. He gave me. All, from not even volume 2. It has not even crossed volume 3 articles what he has published. By looking at all these values, he said that if there is a journal having impact factor 5, then all number of articles put together, he made average impact factor for all the articles, journals in which he has published. Then it came down to 25. He said 25 is for me. He is a mathematician, and he calculated in that way. He claimed that it 25. Then after seeing that publication, if I am there in your panel, I will first instance, I will reject you, because not even single article can be solved from predatory journals. He said, what is predatory? Fake journal. How can you say fake? You have paid money. No, I didn't. My scholar paid. So even for everything, they have excuses like that. So that's why there has to be clarity. Impact factor is only for journals. That you have to understand. As our people said very clearly, the simple formula for calculation is number of citations received divided by number of articles appeared the last 2 years in a particular journal. Okay, this is how we calculate. And again, for the current year, you will never get. Okay, this is like NAV. Previous NAV will be applicable for today. In the same way, only for the completed year you have to calculate. So we are in 2023 still running. Okay, after 31st December only you can consider 23. Okay, so when it is 23, not for the current year, previous year has to be taken into account. For previous year, the previous 2 years, number of citations and number of articles. Okay, 2021 and 2020 respectively. Then you will get the value. So in this case, literally 3 plus 1, 4 years we have to wait for getting impact factor of a journal when it is a new journal. Okay. So, but in the cases what I have shown in the first volume, first issue, you will get impact factor. Okay. That's why we have to be very clear with that. So, this is how it is calculated, number of citations, number of articles, then it comes to 1.098. Just only fictitious calculation, just to tell you how to calculate, right. So, then comes H index. Now, when there is an indicator to measure about the quality of a journal, why do we need another indicator? That we know how to calculate, but why when there was an indicator, impact factor, why do we need H index? Now, we have to critically analyze the formula. Number of citations received divided by number of articles appear. Say for example, there may be 100 articles published in a journal in the last 2 years. All 100 articles may not have got equal number of citations. 1/3 might have got 2 to 10. Another 1/3 might have got 0 to 2. And another 1/3 might have got 0 citations. Still, number of citations received. Number of citations received, was equally distributed among all the works. All the works. So, the authors who got citations had to sacrifice. The authors who did not get even a single citation had to enjoy by taking from the authors who get citations. So, to eliminate that barrier, we came out with this H index, okay, by Hirsch. He is a physicist, and he came out with this indicator which can be used for all the parameters except for one, article level metrics. For article level metrics, H index cannot be used. Okay. For article level metrics, we have another metrics called what? Alt metrics. Alt metrics is used for article level impact or measurement. Okay. Otherwise, this can be used for any parameter, like for individual author, group of authors, department, okay, group of departments of institution or state or country, anything is possible. So, that is why H index has got quite momentum across the globe. Okay. So, this is what. Now, how this is calculated. So, when we talk about that H index, in the initial statistics, what I had shown, I may have 100 publications, but all 100 publications may not have been equally cited. So, how many papers have been cited by our own people, right? So, when you arrange the number of citations in the decreasing order of productivity in column B, like 15, 14, 14 like that, you have to assign numbers also as 1, 2, 3. Where you find perfect match, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, that place is called what? H index. That value is considered to be the H index. Okay, it is like break even point in commerce and management, in economics, point of equilibrium. No profit, no loss point. So, theory of H index states that out of 100 publications of mine, at least 7th of my paper might have got 7 citations. Okay, that is what. The remaining papers have not been cited equally. Reasons may be you have sliced ideas, or you may not have identified the right journal to reach the right audience, or you may not have done research in the emerging areas, only traditional topics. There are numerous reasons. So, the reasons have to be further analyzed, but this will pave the way for further analysis about an author or the institution, why we have got poor index, okay, H index. So, this is what the theory of H index says. Now, this range of H index, according to this Hirsch only, he published in Nature. He says, after putting above 20 years of service, the people who are working in the laboratories like CSR, DRDO, they have to have 20. 20 is a sign of success. If it is 40, they are the outstanding scientists found only in the laboratories. And for people like us, academicians, we are primarily here to teach, and we have to do some research also. The reason is we are paid by the taxpayers' money. So, by doing some research, we have to try to empower the society by our research findings, but that is not happening in true sense. We only publish, but that does not reach the society. So, in that case, for people who are working in the universities and colleges, in the academic institutions, so if you have 12 is more than enough for securing a position, okay, after 20 years. No, ma'am, actually that has to be customized. Actually, we say, when you say citation, I am not in favor of citation. Reason, there are influences. There are different types of citation called self-citation number 1. We cite all our works in the future work to just increase the number of citations. Then dress up citations. That is another one, that you may not have cited any article, but you will just make up. Like it is called dress up citation. Influential citation. Your guide, you may not you may not find any relevance of the papers of your guide to be cited in your work, but you may send that article to your guide for just advice, for comments. When he goes through that, where are my papers? You have to include all my papers in every work. So by influence, you have to add. It's called influential citation. And also behavioral citation. You may have superior work from Indian authors in the same area, but you will always find foreign works to be cited here because of the popularity. So that is what is called behavioral citation. Like that, we have a calculation. Total number of citations minus self-citation, minus influential, minus dress up, minus behavioral. Finally, if you see, it will be 0. we have studies, ma'am. We have tools to actually analyze that. It is called contextual citations. So based on if you have cited your guide's work, so that reference with the body of the text we will through text mining we just if there is no question. It's not questionable at all when there is a relevance. But if you have added irrelevantly, we can easily catch. We will exclude all that. So based on contextual only, it is called importance of citations. So based on that we will do. But what is relevant, what is not relevant? So total number of citations minus irrelevant. So finally you will get the value. There are tools also which through that you will be able to do that. That's why now it has come out. Even Scopus, even JCR also, with the self citation, without self citation, your impact. So like that it is coming out. So again it is based on the contextual citations. Okay, that's what. So this is what. Now last one is low research impact and visibility. Many people from arts, humanities and social sciences always scream for resources which are indexed in Scopus or Web of Science. Okay, so coverage is very, very narrow for people from other domains. But for science, engineering, technology, these two premier databases, Scopus and Web of Science, have the wider coverage. So they will not have any issues. But for the people from other domains who do not have the coverage in these two databases, how to make our research visible? Unless you make your research visible, because through that journal selection tool, it is possible. But if your article has been published in maybe a print journal or Scopus indexed, where you may not find that your full text in the public domain, in such cases, we have to make all our publications visible at one place. So how will you make it? Unless you make your research visible, definitely you are not going to get any impact. No citation, no impact, no H index, no impact for the journal also. So in that case, there is a tool called Social Science Research Network. So since I belong to social sciences, I have selected this one, SSRN. So what it does, it's a social media platform. This is a URL developed by Korea University. Within 2 minutes you can download SSR. Okay, within 2 minutes you can download and install in your system. What it does, once you download this one, you can create your own account. In your account, you can deposit all your publications subject to copyright. I will tell you how it has to be. Okay, So this is a home page. Okay. Homepage, since I belong to social science, I have selected SSR, but it is available for all the subjects. If you just look at the left side, ARN, Accounting Research Network, Anthropology and Archaeology Research Network, ARN, like that for every domain you have. So suitably you can select according to your discipline. Okay, you can select that. Once you create your own page, it will look like that. So since it is social media platform, you can deposit all your publications here, okay, and also you can browse the other submissions, because it is from social science. People from social science also would be part of this group. Okay, it's a social media platform, so you can browse others' publications and others also can browse your publications. Okay, it becomes like a public forum.
He said that the paper should have a copyright.
Mm.
So if I publish a paper in elsewhere or somewhere, they get the copyright.
Yeah, I'll come to that point, ma'am. I'll explain. I'll explain. So now I said, once you deposit all your publications in this SSRN repository, you may find how my papers by depositing in SSRN will be visible to the outsiders. Okay, that may be your question. So once you deposit all your publications in SSRN, within 7 minutes it will be indexed in Google Scholar. So once it is in Google Scholar, it is open to the entire world. Okay, now coming to your point, I said subject to copyright. Oh, subject to copyright. All open access publications, you have the right to deposit here. You can deposit. Okay. And for publications like Scopus and Web of Science, copyright will be with the publishers. But authors will be given preprints. Okay. For preprints, copyright will be with the author. You can submit your preprints. If you are not given preprints, up to abstract level you can deposit. You have the right. Author will have the right up to abstract level. For the full text, copyright will be with the publisher. So up to abstract level you can deposit here by providing link to the full text. It may be from Scopus or Web of Science. DOI or URL you can give. So when then the user will be redirected to the publisher concerned. So that is between the user and the publisher, maybe on payment or free they may provide. But from our side we have to provide everything in single platform, that is SSRN. So here we have open access publications, print publications with the copyright and without copyright. So everything is at one place. If your articles are only in Scopus, Scopus will calculate only for the articles indexed in Scopus. And this Web of Science, Google Scholar like that. But this one, all publications at one place. Okay, at one place you will get. So once you get all your publications Google Scholar, how will you get your impact? How will you come to know about your own impact? Okay, for that we have another tool called POP, Publish or Perish. Publish or Perish, developed by a management professor from Australia. This is a URL. It will take another 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes to download and install in your system. Now, in your system you have SSRN and POP both installed in your system. Now, how to calculate? So your articles are indexed in Google Scholar. Google Scholar will track all the citations. That would be with Google Scholar. But what this does, POP, Publish or Perish, this will obtain raw citations from Google Scholar. Then this calculates for individual, for organization, for department, anything is possible. So this is how it looks like. So once you install both POP and SSRN, this is how it calculates. Okay, so here simply I have given my name as Sevukan. Okay, Sevukan against author impact. So this will give complete, simply by single click lookup. I have to just give my name and lookup after submitting all your papers in SSRN. Okay, SSRN. So it will come out with all this complete profile of an author, like number of papers, number of citations, number of years in the publication field, number of citations per paper, okay, H index, G index, everything will be given by this particular tool. So this is, and one more thing, we talked about fake impact factor companies without revealing the citation particulars. But in this tool, if you just, this is the values, number of citations. If you click on this number 31, all 31 people who have cited your work will appear. Okay, it's a full proof mechanism to calculate impact factor for the people, not impact factor, impact of a scientist. So one more thing, if there are two Sevukans, one in Pondicherry University, other one may be in PSG College of Technology, right? So to exclude that, exclude Sevukan, PSG Tech. So that will be filtered. Only publications of Sevukan from Pondicherry University will be taken into account. Even if you feel that there are some duplications with the overlapping with the publications, in spite of that filter, there are check and uncheck boxes. So if you feel that one paper is not yours, you can simply uncheck. The whole values will be completely modified. So this is a full proof mechanism which can be adopted by any department, any organization. In the library also it can be done. That's why that madam was telling For 1 year, I could not understand what library was doing. But as a professor in charge, after pandemic, I have understood the power of library. So now I am into that library. I want to be here for another 5 years. Now madam has decided to continue as a professor in charge of the library. Now this is the one. This is the one which can help us to know about the value of a scientist or an organization. Okay, so these are the things. Now I have just told you from the conception to making your research visible in a chronological order. Okay, on priority, I have given all the issues what you have to follow to start writing a paper, and how to get it published, and what are the facets to be considered. Okay, points to be considered while writing a scholarly work, maybe a research paper or thesis or dissertation, but we have to stick to the checklist what I have mentioned. Okay, here, but this checklist is not based on any published literature. It is only based on my experience. How we can improve the quality of research. So when you talk about the quality, definitely at least people who are here, if they are able to sensitize their stakeholders, because one library is equivalent to 1000 authors. So if they are able to influence your own stakeholders, definitely that may create some positive impact. Otherwise, this negative influence will keep on going. Nowhere, we will be in the picture in terms of ranking of institutions. But when we try to convince because definitely the faculties will not listen to us. They think that whenever we say something which may be important for an organization, they will think that librarians, they don't know anything, so we should not listen. Such kind of misconception has to be completely abolished. So for that, we have to come out with all these tools, to sensitize all our authors, at least to know about the importance. Okay, so this is what all about scholarly publications to meaningfully produce the research publications, which will lead to obtain good number of citations. Again, automatically that leads to better ranking in terms of any agencies, maybe NIRF or global agencies like QS. Many such agencies will think of this one. Okay, this is what all about the things that I wanted to share with you about enhancing research productivity at the right spread to get good number of citations that leads to better ranking of the institutions. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, I'll move on to this AI tools. I'm not in favor of that. Still, that is the latest development in the scholarly communication field. Still, I have to tell you some tools that are available for the works what we have done. The thing is, I am not in favor because last year I experienced one student. Our system is like that. Whenever they go on leave, there will be a faculty advisor, and the faculty advisor has to recommend his or her leave application, and that will be approved by the HOD. So one girl from Kerala, I never used to get a leave letter without mistake. Leave letter with only 2 lines. 2 lines with the mistake only she would submit. I would correct and forward it. But when she came with the dissertation, I could not find even a single mistake. How come? How is it possible for you? No, I did it, sir. I did everything on my own. Oh, so great. Without even a single mistake. Then I asked, did you use ChatGPT? Yes, sir. Finally. Yes, sir. So ChatGPT gives, the full-fledged report, error-free report for any person who doesn't know anything about the research. So that is why I am not in favor of that. Still, that's the latest development, and many people have started using that. So we can just have a mention about it if you are willing. Okay. So any questions? I think I have answered your questions, ma'am. Whatever you had in your mind. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Repeat பண்ணுங்க question. Okay, okay. 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 பண்ணலாம். A tool can be mentioned. For example, எங்க இதில் வந்து in library science, we can say research productivity of PSG College of Technology based on Web of Science, based on Scopus. But Scopus is a source of data, but the parameters that you are going to use are totally different. But this is reflected on the title, that is permitted. It can be done. Any more questions? Thanks for questioning. It can be, because anything that is available in the South Ganga is for the public. Globally, it can be accessible. Okay. So when the people make use of it, you will see. For example, you just randomly check library science thesis. You will find Bhava Kuti in every thesis, whether it is information seeking behavior or user study or bibliometrics, everywhere you will find. It is actually, this is multiplier effect, like a snowball. What somebody else has used, I will try to reuse. So that goes on. That is again thesis only. Thesis. You will find dissertation thesis are for reference only, but that can be used. That can be used. Because bibliography is the combination of all. Journal article, conference papers, thesis, dissertations, even technical reports, anything, even personal communication, all that, everything is, it's a combination of all. Combination. It is possible, because when you say that Google Scholar, here also you can deposit. SSR and I have told you, it is taken automatically by the Google Scholar if it is there in your name. So if not available, you can deposit. So while depositing, that also will get, it will be cited. While getting citations, that also will be part of your impact. That's possible. It can be done. Yes, ma'am. Hmm. Field weighted citations, it is almost like a SNP, okay, normalized impact. So here again we have to say, when there are two disciplines, for example computer science and library science, okay, library science. Now when you find articles in particular scientometrics, you find hardly a few authors from library science and mostly from computer science, because they have understood the concept of text mining. So mostly sentiment analysis or this emotional studies, okay, intelligence, all those that. So when you have a core subject, journal belongs to a core subject, library science, but many authors from other disciplines have influenced. So here when you compare that, how many people from other domains have contributed to a journal, field specific. So how many people from library science. So when that is calculated, we can easily make out the growth of the journal with library science authors, how it has grown and how these people entered into that profession and what is the growth now and what is the contribution of library science field, okay, to that particular journal. So field specific contributions to a journal can be done. So this has happened only because of this multidisciplinary research approach. So otherwise, it was never, because even many people also, if you have your article published in a journal which is not belonging to your subject, that was not even considered earlier. Now it is interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. You can submit your article to any journal, but that has to have relevance. So when it is becoming multidisciplinary, so individual subject field, how they have contributed to a particular journal can be done. So this is how that indicator has emerged, to my understanding. Yes, ma'am. Hmm. Yeah. It is. Yeah. I understand, ma'am. I got your question. It is, that's why it's called influential citation. So if you submit an article, the editor will look at the parameters, the structural components, and he will see that cited references also. If he finds one or two citations from the same journal, he will send it for review. If not, he will send back. So, the references what you have cited are not most relevant to the studies. So better you consult some studies of this particular journal. So you are forced to add some citations. It is a way of strategy to enhance, influence the number of citations. But that is a wrong practice. Now it is called what is that? One concept which came up, agreement, read and publish agreement. So that is the impact of this only. So they indirectly influence the authors to include the names, but it is again it is their marketing strategy. That cannot be considered as a true citation. It is there, ma'am. I agree with you. Yeah, but we people have to conduct some research on that. So what kind of journals are using that kind of practices? Those practices have to be completely done away with. For that we have to come out with strong evidences. That's the only possibility, because it is actually talked about everywhere. Even in IG.R last week I was there in the panel discussion. This was one of the areas, and many publishers were there, sponsors. They didn't have any answer. So when that particular lady, that madam, Rajeshwari madam, associate director of IG.R, when she raised this question, they had no answer. So this is happening. Any other questions?
Sir, she said you were the reviewer and editor of journals. Can you name some of the journals you are the editors?
Editor, that is Salis journal, one Salis journal. Editorial board in some journals like Library Progress International. Reviewer of many journals like Interlibrary Lending and Emerald, High Tech News, Library High Tech News, and Information Documentation and Delivery, IDD, something like that. And this one, Journal of Information Science from SAGE. So these are the journals in which I am the editor, but it's good to do it. Good experience. Yeah.
Sir, after we submit, why does it take so much time for the literature to review one, two, like that? It will take 5-6 months. Why?
No, if a journal takes 5-6 months, it is not considered to be a good journal. Because in my case, one of my scholars, he is from Kashmir. He has published 9 articles in Scopus Indexed and Web of Science also. They don't take much time. If it is merely acceptable, they will spend some time on that. Otherwise, within a week you will get reply, whether that would be considered or not. Within a week in our case. But one of my scholars, she was so ambitious, very interested. First article, sir, I want to submit this article to Scientometrics. I said, okay, I cannot discourage you. You submit, you may get reply in 3 days, I said. So she submitted. Next day she got reply immediately. So how did you say that, sir? I know, because I can't discourage you. Then you just tell me a right journal, sir. Then I told, just improve upon this article. These are the areas which you have to improve. After improving, you get it submitted in Journal of Scientific Research, our Indian journal only, Index in Scopus, and this emerging Science Citation Index also. That was published. So we have to identify a journal where they will accept our manuscript, like that. Yeah, that's what. But same name. This is Scientometrics, the other one Journal of Scientometrics Research. But these people accepted that, but article was improved. I wanted to teach her, because she should not think that guide is restricting for anything. So she should also learn her caliber. So accordingly she understood. Now no paper moves without my knowledge. So like that we have to do. So any other questions? No? I think you are all tired now. Yeah. அதில் நீங்கள் குரோனாலஜிக்கல் கொடுக்கலாம். கான்செப்ஷுவலாக நீங்கள் ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணும்போது கிளஸ்டரில் அப்போ குரோனாலஜிக்கல் கொடுக்கலாம். இப்போ நாங்கள் இப்போ ஆல்ட்மெட்ரிக்ஸுங்கிறது லேட்டஸ்ட்டு ட்ரெண்ட் எங்களுக்கு. அது எங்கேருந்து வந்ததுன்னா ரைட் ஃப்ரம் பிகினிங் 1926 லோட் காஸ்ட் லா ஆஃப் ஆத்தர் ப்ரொடக்டிவிட்டி அதில் ஆரம்பித்து இப்போ ஆல்ட்மெட்ரிக்ஸில் இருக்குது. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது அதை கரெக்டாக 26லேருந்து 2011 வரைக்கும் நீங்கள் ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணால் தான் இந்த கோஹரன்ஸ் வுட் பி தேர்.
people will understand. Within that cluster you can see. You can arrange in whichever way you want. But within that, chronological is better. How the idea has emerged and how it has been reported by different people at different times, chronologically. But if you just mingle everything together, shuffle together and present by chronological, that concepts will be scattered. Within the clusters, you can make any arrangement because it is at the same place, all the articles. Okay? Good question. Okay then, so AI tools only to show. As I said, I am not in favor of that because conducting literature review is the most challenging task. If you are able to do meticulous review, you will understand each and every component of research what I have shown you clearly. But we are giving least importance to literature review. That's the problem. We simply reproduce. Okay. So there are tools. So if you have any problem with the understanding of any paper, simply highlight and click a button. It will properly explain the simple language. It is called explainpaper.com. Explainpaper.com. It is an AI tool which does for you. Simply you have to upload a paper here, and that will completely give you the entire essence of a particular paper in a simple manner, which will help you to understand. Okay, so these are all the tools only to help us to simplify the process by giving more insight into the research components. Okay? It is not that this will produce whatever it produces, that cannot be the final. This is only a reference tool which can be used by the genuine researchers, okay, not by students like. So this is how, then this is the one, okay, how you have to do that. Then another one is elicit. Elicit is another AI tool which is which has started with many components, but now only literature review is done by this elicit in an extensive manner. So you can just make use of this. But again I am telling you, it is only to have an idea how to go about, but it is not for final submission. Now don't think that AI tools, that anything that is done by AI tools and submitted cannot be detected. Don't think that way. Turnitin is doing that. They have upgraded and they are charging 4 lakhs more for this particular feature. Okay, so we should not give money to the publishers unnecessarily by doing all these kind of unethical practices, right? So this is only the tool to. Ma'am? Elicit is just an AI tool that does literature review for you. Yeah, only thing you have to pose a question. And it will come out with a prepared literature review. Yeah, ready-made tool. Yeah. It will harvest everything. It will summarize. It will submit you as a literature review chapter. Simply you have to talk to it. It is assistant only, like Google Assistant. Even if you don't know how to type, you have to just tell it what you want. It will produce. Okay. So this tldorthis.com, it is summarize any document in a single click. So there may be an article. If you want to summarize that, instead of extracting summary by a researcher, this tool will do. Right. So people are working out so seriously now. Yeah. That's true, ma'am. But particularly students community, they misuse. Some guides also who are a bit traditional, they can't identify. Oh, it has come out so well. They give a compliment like anything. Lot of appreciation without knowing the root from where it has come. All right. Students are all very happy that we have good tools to do project. Yeah, this is the one. You can just enter your article or URL, or you can paste whatever article you want to just extract a summary. By single click you will get that from this one. So this is the article. This is a summary that is produced. Okay, for article which is of 10-12 pages, that will produce in half a page. So from here you can customize. This is connectedpapers.com, this is very important. So if I have written a paper, I can just, open that paper, and how many people have cited my paper, and how many authors whom I have cited have further citations. So in a, collaborative network you will find in the form of maps, you will get. By single click you will get everything. So it's like this. It's only to show, okay. So this is the one. So what all the authors who have cited your paper and how many people have cited your work. So that interrelated collaborative network, can be assessed or extracted from based on these tools by single click. Paper-wise analysis, okay. So you can even expand the search through that, by just simply by clicking one circle, it will lead to some other connections. So like it goes like, multiplayer fashion. So you can do many more research on that. Connected papers. So this one u.com. This is also another important AI tool, okay, search engine U control. So this is a search engine that harvests information from multiple AI tools, like, like we have one search engine, what is that? And library science, Cyrus? Okay, no, some search engine, meta search engine that searches other URLs from different search engines. Alta Vista, meta search engine, like that. So this is master of all other AI tools for scholarly publications. This LIT maps, discover the world of scientific literature. This also simply you have to tell it what you want. Completely it will bring out the tailor-made information from various sources. So you don't have to do anything. Only thing, what I say here is that you can use this tool. Just you see the structure, how it has come out. So accordingly, you should try to imitate or replicate. Then only it will help you to learn things. Otherwise, it is difficult, right? Lit maps. So these are the ways by which you can do that. Lateral is also another, upcoming tool which is very important for this type of work. Now Jenny.io is also. Research becomes faster with these tools. Okay, again it will inflate the number of papers. Impact will further go down if you do not use it ethically, right? So then researchrabbit.ai. So this is also another tool which has emerged. Because ChatGPT is almost outdated now. So these are all the tools developed based on ChatGPT, but these are all superior than that ChatGPT now. Paperpal.com. This is also how you are going to make use of your scholarly works using that. Scholarcy.com. Scholarcy.com. All tools are similar to do your research, but you have to customize based on your requirement. You can select the right one. So consensus.app.search. So this is also another tool, AI tool, which can be used for scholarly publications. So this is how it ask a question, get conclusions from research papers. So you don't have to read the title, abstract, literature review, okay, implications or conclusion findings. So this will give you completely what you want has to be posted suitably to the system. So that will bring out the complete information. So this is what I just wanted to share with you about this one. Typeset is also, Typeset we have DTP tool, but this is also another AI tool which can help us. So this is what all about the things that I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer, but not from AI. I am not promoting AI tools. If you have anything, because I have told you 10 pertinent points to improve the quality. Finally, I am coming out with this. You may think that no, this is much better than those points that we have discussed, but I am not in favor of that. Unless you know the concept, clarity will not be there. You can't guide any more students. Okay? Anyway, thank you so much for your patient listening, and